Over the years, there have been video games that made a profound impact on not just the industry, but popular culture and the collective consciousness. Tetris, Super Mario Bros., and Doom have influenced this medium to such a degree that the foundation they laid down can still be seen today. The impact of Mojang's Minecraft cannot be understated, as a simple desktop and browser game that has gone on to become a global phenomenon, spawning numerous ports to any system that can run the software, with Mojang building an empire out of consumer merchandise, books, an AR app, and spin-off games. The latest iteration of Minecraft eschews its own originality in favor of a story-driven action-adventure game modeled after classic PC dungeon crawlers. Minecraft Dungeons exchanges pickaxes and redstone formulas for swords and magical artifacts in an isometric, loot-driven dungeon crawler that pays homage to its genre forebears, but with the telltale pixelated charm that endeared itself to millions. With the world in desperate need of a hero, who will step up to the call? After an outcast illager stumbles upon a magical Minecraft block that grants him corruptible power, the blocky world falls under the shadow of darkness as monsters plague the happy-go-lucky residents. Designed to be played either solo or online with friends, Minecraft Dungeons takes you on a whistle-stop tour of the Minecraft biomes, using them to create areas filled with monsters, loot, and bosses that need to be defeated before moving on. Take away the classic Minecraft look and what's left is a charming copy of games like Diablo and Torchlight, where you go back and forth from different areas, stopping occasionally at a camp to rest and purchase new gear. Dungeons are procedurally built using Minecraft blocks made to resemble forests, desert tombs, chilly mountains, and fiery underground mines. Standing in your path to victory are zombies, spiders, skeletons, the terrifying creeper, and evil villagers looking to make you dead. The overall goal of each dungeon is pretty much the same across the board. Explore the area, reach objectives, interact with mission-critical targets, fight a boss, and then head back to camp. Complicating these tasks are enemy mobs that, at first, are pretty easy to dispatch. Using a basic low-level sword and bow, you can strike creatures up close or at range. Using a bow and arrow is fun because you could literally be an entire screen length away and still hit a target. At first, many of the mobs are made up of zombies and skeleton archers, and later levels escalate things by introducing variants and new creatures, some of which are rather exhausting to fight in groups. Zombies and skelly archers are replaced with armored varieties, giant slimes that shrink and multiply when attacked, illagers that cast magical spells, hulking redstone golems, and more. Dungeons also feature encounters with mini-bosses that are more challenging versions of regular enemies, or a confrontation with the Enderman. The game's cutesy appearance belies a surprising level of difficulty in the later half of the game, to the point where a majority of mob encounters are drastically weighed in the favor of the enemy, forcing you to contend with dozens of angry, violent monsters that give no quarter. Progressing through dungeons and defeating monsters offers a chance to collect loot that'll help strengthen your Minecraft hero. Using a classic rarity system, weapons and armor offer increased damage and defense, as well as character bonuses exclusive to rarer objects. These items help boost base stats but can be upgraded further through enchantments, which is earned each time the character levels up. Enchantments are points that can be fed to unlock passive features to any piece of gear. Working mostly on a percentage basis, these enchantments do extraordinary things like refilling your stock of arrows, trigger regenerative health, stun and freeze enemies, or set them aflame. There are also artifacts, which are helpful tools that provide special timed abilities, like firing off a powerful single-shot arrow and adding fire to attacks, or offer a limited boost to defense. At any given time, the player character can hold one melee and one ranged weapon, a suit of armor, and 3 artifacts. And with every new item collected, there's that burdensome task of having to weigh the pros and cons of each. Do you cast off a weaker yet reliable gear for something that only offers a slight bump in magical attacks? I quickly learned to favor equipment that would increase my attack output and defense because the late game is most certainly not kind to solo players. When you've reached the end of a dungeon or exhausted the allotment of player lives, the game sends you back to the camp so you can open up the mission map and pick a new area to visit. Vendors will occasionally wander in and set up a shop to sell equipment and artifacts. However, where most games offer an inventory of items to choose from, Minecraft Dungeons relies on random loot boxes, which is less than ideal. Spending the crystals gathered from fallen enemies and treasure chests, you can buy kits that feature a random item that matches your current character level. Anyone who has played a loot-driven game know that it's kind of pointless to waste money on stuff from shops because chances are you'll find something much better a few moments later. In the case of Minecraft Dungeons, camp vendors feel like a bit of an afterthought. After all, vendors only exist because of the money found during missions. You could easily remove them from the picture and would never know they existed in the first place. The camp then feels like a wasted opportunity because there's just nothing to do. Now, if the game were to instead pay out Minecraft blocks to customize your camp with, that would be a lot more fun and true to the spirit of the game it's based on. Minecraft Dungeons is a decent recreation of classic dungeon crawlers that has all the charm and cutesy joy of its flagship series. It captures the form and function of the genre well enough, but in the end, I felt like the whole thing is a bit of a "hey, me too" kind of product. One area the game absolutely excels in is the procedurally generated dungeons, which make fantastic use of Minecraft assets to create truly phenomenal looking dungeons. It's like handing a bucket of Lego bricks to a master builder and watch as they proceed to create stunning, imaginative builds. I'd almost prefer to explore these places than using them as combat arenas, especially later in the game when the sheer number and strength of enemy forces are just simply too much for a solo player to handle. There were many situations where I found myself surrounded by at least 10 monsters and given barely enough breathing room as my health plummeted to 0 in seconds flat. Losing an entire level's worth of progress sucks, but not nearly as much as having to start them all over again after a game over. I thought it super weird that I died so easily in a level that, according to the dungeon stats, I was over-leveled for, so there might be some balancing issues that may need to be addressed. For all its charm and visual whimsy, I can see Minecraft Dungeons being the sort of game that franchise diehards will play for a couple of hours, get bored, and then go back to creating fabulous environments and contraptions in Minecraft. It doesn't have quite the same amount of depth as the game it's based on, which may push away those looking for their next Diablo-like. I can't shake the feeling that the game should have made more of an effort to incorporate crafting given the game it's based on, which would at least give people more things to do in between missions and break up the action a little. Minecraft Dungeons is fun, if a bit flawed, and is one of those games best spent playing online with friends so you have something to do while shooting the shit with each other. DarkStation gives Minecraft Dungeons 3 stars.